The meeting to order. If you would, please stand for the prayer and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. All right. Thank you, Chief. Roll call, Ms. Phyllis.
Alderman Clough.
There he is.
Okay.
Alderman Clough's present.
Okay. Alderman Dale.
Present.
Vice Mayor Dotson. Alderman Elder.
Here.
Alderman Langford.
Here.
Alderman Linder.
Here.
All present except Vice Mayor Dotson.
All present but Vice Mayor Ken Dotson. Need a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Bill Linder. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Rex Dale. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion pass. Next item is any public comments? Any public comments? Hear none. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda? All right, motion to accept the agenda as is.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Rex Dale.
Second.
Second by Alderman Bill Linder. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Just a reminder to please use your microphone mics. That way we can get out in the on our live stream and everyone can understand what we are discussing, please. So first, we do have one. We celebrated our 18th Tree City USA, and we have with us our county-wide poster winner, Miss Nolan Pennington. Come on up. Come on up. She was quick. I like that. All right. Yeah, come on up. So Miss Nolan Pennington is our county-wide Tree City Arbor Day winner, and she has done a good job. And also, she has won a free blizzard. Do you like blizzards, Miss Pennington? Make sure you get that girl that blizzard now. All right. Thank you all for coming. I know you took time out of your schedule. We appreciate it. Thank you. Under old business, item number 1, first reading on the ordinance, and because of some things that have changed under the advice of our attorney, we have went back and we're going to have to do the first reading over. And so that's what we're doing, the first reading on ordinance 24-3-1. Do I hear a motion to accept? Motion made by Alderman John Clough,
Second.
second by Alderman Bill Linder. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion pass. Item number 1 under new business, downtown revitalization. Chairman Gene Gant, and a chamber report from Ms. Cantrell, but I think she's under the weather tonight. Take it away, Gene.
Quick report. We're happy to announce that Church Street project has finally got started. We have construction going on down there right now. Just getting started the last several days, so it's up and going. Don't have anything new to report on the courthouse project. We're still waiting on the final approval from TDOT to get started there. Again, like I said last time, we're expecting that soon, but we don't have it yet. Sidewalk project, no additional update at this point either. The only other thing I had was we gave you a copy of the budget last week, and I put another copy up there this time around, and wanted to see if we could get that approved.
So you have the budget for the downtown revitalization capital budget, October 23rd, September 24. Obviously, these funds are coming out of the ERC. This is the part of the courthouse enhancement grant that we have been received. Of course, we're one of the 6 cities that received such grant, and it is based sales tax rebate that is based on sales tax that is generated around a block either direction of our courthouse. So this is the budget. This is the budget that was approved by the Downtown Revitalization Committee and just needs to be ratified by the Board of Aldermen.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Alderman Rex Dale.
Second.
Second by Alderman John Clough. Any discussion? Any discussion? All right, we'll pass the budget. Roll call, Ms. Phillips.
Alderman Langford,
Yes.
Alderman Elder,
Yes.
Alderman Dale,
Yes.
Alderman Linder,
Yes.
Alderman Clough.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Any other business, Mr. Gant?
I think that's all I have. Thank y'all.
Thank you. No blizzard for you. Item number 2, engineering agreements, Mr. Greg Davenport from J.R. Wofford and Company.
Usually people have a hard time hearing me anyway, but thank you. You have agreements in front of you today that pertain to the city's 2-phase project of installing automatic meter read water meters at each customer, as well as zone meters out in the system to attempt to identify where leakage may be occurring. I'm sure all of you are pretty familiar with the fact that City of Livingston has leaks in its water system. That's not unusual. Every town has them. You have to work aggressively to keep these, keep leaks at bay. It's a generational type thing to stay after this. The agreements that you have in front of you really take care of our construction phase services for a project that we just bid. It was bid last Tuesday, and it was the automatic meter read meters in the Monroe and Alpine area, which is what we deem to be, after working with the city, the worst area that we needed to install these. There was one bid for the contract. It came in, including the additive alternate, at $1,220,887. So really the action we have before you today is to approve our engineering contracts to move forward with the construction phase services of this work, and also to approve Ironwood Construction and Engineering, LLC, as the contractor. This contractor just did the Church Street Waterline project. We found them to be easy to work with. The city liked working with them, and for that reason, we recommend award to this bidder. The funds for this are the county and city's American Rescue Plan funds. It's mostly grant funds, but you do have a small amount of matching funds that go with it, so the amount of expenditure to the city is very low for this project. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard of ARPA or the funds that came around through TDEC.
So we need a motion and a second, and if there's any discussion, we can go from there.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Alderman David Langford, second by Alderman Bruce Elder. Any discussion? Any questions for Mr. Davenport?
Mr. Davenport, you said our funds was low, as in how low? That we're gonna have to come up with, how much money we're gonna have to come up with?
Right now, the budget, and I might get Amanda with Grassroots to clarify that. She handles the grant part of the contract with the city, so I don't want to get out of my lane here, but the matching funds for you are $256,452.
It's 10% of your total ARPA funding, and so you received.
Come on up to the mic.
Yeah, sorry, Greg, I'm gonna shove you out of the way here. Your total ARPA funding was $1,650,257, okay? So 1.6 million, okay? So your match on that is 10%, okay? Now, part of that, 406,000 to be exact, is going to reimburse you for your raw water intake project, okay? So you're getting 406 back of what you've already spent. Okay, and then this project, the 1.2 for the automatic meter readers, the match on that, it's a $1.5 million project altogether is what we've submitted for the budget to ARPA, okay? So your matching funds is $256,000. So you're putting in $256,000 and you're getting, 1.2.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trade there, I believe, don't you? Yeah. All right, any other questions or discussion?
You said this was Monroe and Alpine?
Yeah, Greg?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Monroe and Alpine areas. And basically the work consists of taking the existing meter out and putting a meter in that has a transmitter on top, and the city, instead of having to get out, open that lid, read that meter, they drive by and it transmits as soon as it seeks the vehicle with the recording unit in it, it transmits into it. That does several things. We all know about how hard it is to get labor. It makes you more efficient, but it also takes the data and uploads it straight into the city's billing software. So the opportunity for a human error is fairly minimized.
And piggybacking off what Greg said, as you know, we are one of the utility companies that are still meter reading going door to door. This kind of just brings us up to speed with all utility districts, or most utility districts, including a couple in the county. I think West Overton already has AMRs. It also has a mechanism in there for leak detection. So, and as most utility districts have, we do have a water loss a little bit higher percentage than we would like. So the zone meters, the AMR with the leak detection should be able to tell our water department, zero in on exactly the area that the water leak is in, which should take our water leakage down.
We just had a problem up there the other day, didn't we? Didn't we hear something on the radio that there's gonna be low water pressure or something in
Yeah.
that area? Didn't we just have a problem the other day,
Yeah, where was that at, Jerry?
Big Springs,
Yeah, it was Big Springs.
a week or so ago?
That's right. And the thing of it is, these water leaks, I mean, I'm not out in the field, but listening to the guys, I mean, there's a lot of times these leaks could be going on a week, 2, 3, 6 months. I think with these zone meterings, it is going to tell us exactly when the volume, the flow is going through unaccounted for. So we'll be able to pick it up in these zone meters. Our water treatment plant will be able to tell us if we're treating more water than normal, if our tanks are getting low. It's just a win-win for the city.
With this system here, will we be able to detect or maybe zero closer to where the leak's at between meter and meter? Or we just zero in that area? Or
There's really what we would call a rural system and an urban system. If you've got houses that are, like here in Livingston, that are 100 feet apart, then every other meter you put an acoustical sensor in with the meter box, and it just sits there and listens. And when it hears something that, you know, when water's leaking out of a pipe, it'll make a sound, usually. It reports that back to the transponder. If you're up in Monroe or Hillham or any of these other areas and the houses are 300 or 400 yards apart, there's no sense in putting that in there because it can't triangulate, it can't. So we're putting it into the more urban setting, and that's working with the meter folks to come about with that solution. So the answer to your question is, if it's a developed area, it's a great tool. If it's out in the county, not so much. The zone meters, I mean, I just can't hardly tell you how difficult it is to find a water leak that doesn't want to be found. It will go through the ground 100 yards sometimes and get into a culvert that goes underground for however long, and then it comes out behind somebody's house and nobody even knows there's water flowing back there. And unfortunately, a lot of the times you find these things by accident, or someone's back there clearing brush and they say, why is this water here? And they test it and they find, you know, chlorine in it. So it's a real challenge. So what the zone meters do is, let's just say you're out in a rural area and you've got 150 customers that feed off of this one line out off a ridge. You put a zone meter in there, when they drive by it, it's dumping data into them. So you just watch its trend, and if it trends along there between midnight and 4 a.m. and it's got 50 gallons on it, and then somebody's not farming or watering chickens or whatever, you probably got a problem. By the same token, if it hums along there at a low number, say 10 gallons a minute, and then all of a sudden it jumps up to 50, you probably got a 40-gallon a minute leak down there. So it will help your forces focus on areas instead of just trying to find them. I will point out that we have submitted a project to the state revolving fund loan, and Livingston was successful in obtaining a $2.3 million grant from SRF to finish the zone meter and the remainder of the meters that this project does not address. Your matching funds on that are $1.2 million. That's been submitted. SRF's been reviewing it for 8 or 9 months, but you're still getting, you know, about a 65% grant on that. And I'm very sensitive to water budgets and rates, but you know, the comptroller has sent you a letter saying you need to get a hold of your water leakage. So that's the second phase of this plan. There's so much federal funds that have flowed into these state mechanisms like state revolving fund loan that we talked to Curtis. The next step would be a lot of these old service lines that have been in the ground for 50 or 60 years between the main and the meter. That's your responsibility. If that leaks, that's on you. And we went ahead and applied for a $5 million project for them. Now, you're not obligated to take any of the money. You can always scale it back. You can say, I don't want it. But it doesn't make sense to apply for a $500,000 SRF project because of the delays and the paperwork burden, the American Iron and Steel Act and Davis-Bacon wage rates that usually go along with that. That should be published this fall, and you can make a decision at that time how you want to proceed with that. But we put in for a bigger number because you're likely to get a whole lot more grant money at that. So that's really, this is phase one to approve this construction contract. Phase two is the SRF, which is a $3.5 million project with $2.3 million in grant. And the phase three is the $5 million I just spoke of. Now, I've been doing this for close to 30 years. And this is the most federal dollars, second to 2008, that I've seen flow through to communities. So it makes a lot of sense for you to take advantage of this instead of 5 years from now, 7 years from now, having to do it with no grant funds.
Where, have we got this in our budget? It's
Yes,
256?
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Unfortunately, we've been talking about this now, Greg. The ARPA funds came out 2 years ago. Yeah. So, government works slow. So, yes, the money has been budgeted and sitting there for quite some time. We just keep rolling it over as it don't come into that fiscal year. So, yeah, the money is there. And I think it's a pretty good return on your investment, $1 million versus $200,000. So we got a motion and second. A couple of things is to accept this agreement for engineering services for J.R. Walford and Company to accept the bid from the company out of Crossville. What was their name, Greg?
Ironwood Construction and
Ironwood.
Engineering, LLC.
Ironwood Construction. Also, we have this agreement for engineering service for CDBG wastewater treatment plant improvements that I think Greg talked about. So that's what we have got on the table. So we've got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Okay, no other discussion. Roll call vote, Ms. Phillips, please. Thank you.
Alderman Elder,
Yes.
Alderman Dale,
Yes.
Alderman Linder,
Yes.
Alderman Clough,
Yes.
Alderman Langford.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Thank you, Mr. Davenport. You have any other business with the city?
No, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Safe travels. Item number 3, Highlands Economic Partnership, Mr. Adam Poe. Come on up, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight. I'm really excited to be able to give you an update about the way that we've been able to really partner with the Livingston Academy to talk about career exploration for all students, K through 12, and then what we've been doing with Livingston Regional Hospital. And that's where I'm going to start out today. So over the last year, we really partnered with Tim McGill and his team to do two things. We wanted to provide excellent executive leadership development at no cost to the hospital and offer that completely for free for as many people that wanted to attend as he would like. We had 37 people go through some form of leadership development training, including his entire leadership team, which was pretty neat. And then they also were able to plug into so many different career exploration opportunities, whether that was our 8th grade career fair, where Livingston Regional Hospital had, I think, 5 different booths that were set up to allow for hands-on learning, to our high school job fairs for juniors and seniors. And I do want to make note and give Lauren Kaufman and Leslie Riddle a shout out. The students from Livingston Academy that showed up, there were 42 that showed up for part-time or jobs after high school graduation. They were so sharp, so polite. They engaged with the employers on such a great way. In total, we had 710 students that attended that job fair. That was on February the 28th of this year. Next year, we're shooting for over 1,000. We're also facilitating in partnership with TCAT a CTE banquet. We want to celebrate the students that are a part of a CTSO or a career and technical education path at Livingston Academy and be able to allow their passions in life, whether it's skilled trades or advanced manufacturing, just allowing that passion to kind of guide what they do for the rest of their life, and then being able to connect them with employers locally to give them a great place for employment, a great environment to grow. On top of that, we've also been working on a really cool project called Other Places You Can Work. And it's very difficult to talk about advanced manufacturing or healthcare or skilled trades, but to make it rhyme like a Dr. Seuss book was by far the most difficult project that I've had so far. But we got it done, and we created a children's color-by-number coloring book that talks about what it means to be in advanced manufacturing or healthcare or skilled trades on the level of a first, second, or third grader. And it is color by number because the artwork in this book is of the color palettes and the businesses that are in Livingston, that are in White County, that are in Copeville, that are in Crossville. And it's going to be able to hopefully connect the employment opportunities to students as young as first grade, hopefully start planting seeds about what they want to do, and then hopefully retain that talent here once they graduate from high school. We also were able to execute several executive physician tours for Livingston Regional. Last year we completed 22 of those, and they were able to bring on 11 new physicians in different roles for the hospital in the last year, and so I was really proud of that. And this year, I couldn't be more proud of the outlook. We do have a goal of having our 8th grade career fair, which is our flagship program, reach 6,000 students across the Upper Cumberland this year. Last year it was 3,200. So just really good things going on right now. And I'm so thankful for the support that y'all give to our organization, as we do want to improve the quality of life for everybody that lives here. So.
Thank you, Mr. Poe. The Highlands, of course, is a partner with us that helps us recruit businesses across the country, across the state, and is a real partner, Adam. Thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for the support. Thank you. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Poe? All right, thank you. Item number 4, Airport, Mr. Jason Duke. Going to give us an update on what's going on at the airport. Dr. Duke, I should say.
I've got slides to make it more interesting today. All right, I've got 9 items. Mayor gave me 10 minutes. This is going to be tough. So, first off, fencing project. We have either 3 out of the 4 landowners are either closing or closed. So we have 1 landowner left we're working with. And so the fencing project, I know it's a small picture, but this is the south end of the runway where Airport Road comes up, the plateau escarpment, and that's the north end of the runway. That's the police area right there. So we're talking east side of the runway from about the weather observation station all the way down the east side, about 4,000 feet of fencing there. And then we have a small piece, that's Airport Road, that's Bill White Lane, a small piece right here. So that we hope work will start later on in the year. Environmental and design are complete, and we're just working on the land acquisition and then moving forward on that. Just giving you an update. Second is the fuel farm relocation. I went before the Aeronautical Commission in Nashville in February, and we received 95% state funding for the fuel farm move, which is pretty good. No one else got above 5% on state on that. We got 95. And what that is, the current terminal is right here. The current fueling area is right there. We're going to move that. We've got a 2% slope here and a 3% slope here. And now that we've grown at the airport with a longer runway, larger aircraft, it's hard to fuel a larger twin or a jet. So we are moving the fuel farm to this area in between the old T hangar and the access road to the Peter Schiff hangar. So the fuel farm is going to move to right here. This let us fuel larger aircraft like King Air and smaller jets that we're getting in the airport now that right now are traveling to Crossville or to Cookville to buy fuel because of difficulties where we are now. That's being funded 95% by the state. We anticipate to have that complete by the end of this year. Third, terminal rehabilitation. We applied for and received $159,000 a year for 5 years of bill money. That money has to be used for certain uses at the airport. How things move slow, we're in year 3 and we're just about to get our first delivery of money. It's a little bit slow. And so this is funded at 95%. So I prioritize that with the airport board and others to do a rehabilitation of our current terminal. The current terminal, the airport opened in '59. That building was constructed primarily in the '70s, and it's still 1970s inside. A commercial use building of about 50 years old has quite a few problems, and so we can use that money to rehab the terminal. And I've got some quick draft drawings for this. So what you'll see, just to tell you real quick, right, the main changes. The current entry is right here, and you come in, you've got that lobby area, and the office is a back corner. We're going to take and split this off and make that entire area to the right the office. Outside the fence will have its own area for the public. We'll have large windows that give all the employees a full view of the entire apron and the entire runway, which is a safety issue from the airport right now. Other main changes, we'll have an ADA accessible restroom, change the restrooms out. The current kitchen will be completely gutted. We had a recent water damage issue, which was terrible, found shag carpet and all kinds of things underneath stuff in there. Going to gut the entire kitchen. This is inside walls, ceiling, lighting, electrical, flooring, heating, cooling, everything. This is paid at 95% too on the bill money. We estimate $600,000 total from the project. Local city will be 2.5%, which is $15,000 is all the city will have obligation for, and $15,000 on the county, which they've agreed to pay as well. We'll spend $30,000 local to get a $600,000 update to the airport terminal. The current lounge, we call it, which is, for a training room, is going to move here when pilots come in from larger aircraft. They want somewhere to do flight planning and just have a break. So that's going to move here, and the current meeting room is going to move here, which will also have the units moved outside, large windows. It'll be a public meeting room and have an outside door as well. It'll be a complete renovation of the entire inside of the current terminal, inside and out. Like I said, we'll get 95% funding. A quick drawing on that. This is looking at the outside. Of course, right now there's one single door there. These will be full length windows from ceiling to floor all the way across the front with an awning right there. And the current door will be just for like the employee office to go outside to the apron. It'll really open it up. And then also one more viewing of that. That gives you a better look right now. Like I said, the current is just one door there right now where the fence is. The fence is going to come in right here, so all the public accessible area will be out in the open and not behind a fence. It'll really open it up, make it look a lot more professional. When you fly in here to put a business in Livingston, you should have an airport that looks like where you want to put a business in Livingston. And this is the best chance we've ever had in my 22 years in the airport board to get anything like this done. Wetland delineation, real quick picture. That's the current Johnny Halfacre hangar, the current T hangar, Peter Schiff, old Fitzgerald hangar. We've got some wetlands here. When the runway was first constructed in 1959, it's like a borrow pit. They dug out area to build up the runway. That area is now a man-made wetland, but it's a jurisdictional wetlands. We're having to do a new delineation for wetlands because in the future, we're going to build a parallel taxiway that runs through this area right here to open up all that land along Bill White Lane for commercial development for hangars. We've got at least 6 potential hangars that can be built there, and we have the folks contacting us wanting to build commercial hangars. So we'll be able to open all that area up for development. Commercial hangar potential, we have a current client, potential person that would like to build a hangar, a business at the airport. The last site that we have left right now is where the terminal was going to be. In the past, I proposed a new terminal building in this grassy area between the Johnny Halfacre hangar and the Peter Schiff Fitzgerald hangar, and that's Airport Road right there. So this area here was going to be the first terminal, but with the bill money, it had a limited time frame. I couldn't build a new terminal. I'm rehabbing the old terminal, which will be suitable. So it frees up that lot, and we're going to be able to put possibly 1 or 2 commercial hangars in this lot. So we'll let you know more when we get the person we work with more information, but we got a good chance of putting a commercial hangar in that lot right now. Last items here all on one slide. Want to make sure everybody knows, May the 4th is our next fly-in and cruise-in. It's 9 to 3. Love to have the public and the aldermen, and also going to invite the county commissioners to attend. We've had up to 1,000 people at that event. It's a great event to come out. There's always food, music. We had about 50 cars last year. We had dozens of planes come in. We give airplane rides, helicopter rides. It's a really good community event. I want to re-promote that. The next piece of good news I was able to get, we get a maintenance grant at the airport to buy lawnmowers, security cameras, a list of specific items. I was able to get us increased from $15,000 to $20,000. Edna will get a brand new zero-turn mower, yippee. She's very excited about that, and got a new weeder. Lots of fun stuff when you're in the airport row. We have two things that require a vote from the alderman. Next would be the consultant. We've used Barge for the last approximately about 14 years, the airport a little longer. We put out a proposal for a new, every 5 years, a new consultant. It was ran in newspaper ads, and we only had one company apply, which was Barge. We reviewed their proposal. The mayor and I discussed it. We've had nothing but good service from Barge, and so we make the suggestion that Barge be selected for the consultant. The consultants are paid out of the federal, state, local matching funds that we receive. These aren't like new funds that come out of anywhere you have to pay. They're paid out of mainly federal funding, 90% federal funding. So we recommend that Barge be selected for the consultant, again, for a 5-year duration.
Let me go ahead and do that right now. It was recommended by the chairman of the airport and myself that we select the Barge Design Company as the airport consultant.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Rex Dale.
Second.
Second by Alderman John Clough. Any discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Phyllis.
Alderman Dale.
Yes.
Alderman Linder.
Yes.
Alderman Clough.
Yes.
Alderman Langford.
Yes.
Alderman Elder.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Continue on, Dr. Duke.
Last item. Remember last year, we were going to try to do a joint airport authority between the county and the city. The county commission did not choose to proceed with that. However, the county still pays half the operating expenses of the airport, and they also pay their match of all of our federal and state projects. That's going to continue. I do an annual presentation to the county budget committee, and they agreed to continue in that role. However, we had produced with our city attorney a new airport committee structure that was going to be county and city together. And so when that did not materialize, now it's time to adopt a new resolution, which is just a formation of the airport board. Right now it's a committee. It's the same group doing the same thing, but it's going to be a 5-person group we propose. The members would be the mayor of Livingston, the county executive of Overton County, the director of the Chamber of Commerce, and then 2 members from the pilot community. So the proposed 5-member body would be myself, because I don't know when to run, and Jason Copeland from the pilot community. It'd be the 2 of us, and then it'll be Mayor Hayes, County Executive Barlow, and Shannon Cantrell from the Chamber. It'll be 5-year terms because you can't get anything done for an airport fast, and then up to 4 consecutive terms max. And then if anyone retires or changes positions, then the alderman would select the replacement.
All right, thank you, Jason. We need a motion to accept this resolution as the airport board resolution.
I so move.
Motion made by Alderman John Clough.
Second.
Second by Alderman Bill Linder. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion pass. Carry on.
That's all.
No other business. All right, thank you, Mr. Duke. Job well done, and again, congratulations on receiving your doctorate degree. Item number 5, Traffic Signal Modernization Program Grant, Chief Rocky Dow, which is also our traffic control supervisor.
So we applied for a traffic signal modernization grant for the square up there to install pedestrian crosswalk signals. We have been awarded that grant. That will put a new cabinet, controller, all components inside the cabinet, along with pedestrian crosswalks at the 3 intersection with the traffic lights at 100% no cost to the city whatsoever.
Job well done, Chief, on getting that grant. I know when they came up to Livingston, we all visited with them. This is a good shot, major shot in the arm for our downtown, simply because they have asked us about pedestrian signals for quite some time, but the expense has always been an issue with it. But this grant, like he says 100, I'm going to say it's going to be $150,000 grant that we will have pedestrian signals in downtown Livingston located on the square now. So job well done. And any questions for Chief Dow? Any questions for the council? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Also, the last item, I just wanted to talk to everyone about the water pipe questionnaire that you have received in your water bills. If you haven't done that, let's talk about that for just a minute. On December 16, 2021, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, developed new rules for the control of lead and copper in potable water. As a result of this action, the Livingston water system is required to complete a lead service line inventory. All homes constructed before July 1988 will need to be inventorized for the service line type. The City of Livingston will inventory the system-owned portion. The customer is asked to help identify the custom-owned portion. There are 4 types of classification: lead, galvanized, copper, plastic, and unknown. 3 ways to submit the questionnaire: fill out and bring or send to the City of Livingston with your utility bill. Go to www.cityoflivingston.net and fill out the quick survey. Come by a City of Livingston office and fill out the quick form, and we'll help you fill it out. So we've been doing this since late 21, and we've only got about 1,000 questionnaires that have come in and to be done, and that poses a problem. So it's not only for the City of Livingston, but it's for every water utility district in the country. Not only the state of Tennessee, but in the country. So it is time to get this complete. So Livingston Fire Department will be going door to door with the data in the city to receive and get the information for this. This form is literally going to take about 30 seconds for any individual to fill out. But because we haven't got it done and the deadline is approaching, in the city, the Livingston Fire Department will be going door to door to get this data. Our utility district is larger than the city, as most of you know. We have roughly 5,200 and some odd customers. We've had 1,000 turned in. So outside the county, the Livingston City Police Department will be going door to door to get this data in our utility district. It is important that we get this data, or EPA violations will come down on the City of Livingston Water Utility District. So therefore, starting in the next 2 weeks, you will see the fire department coming to your homes if you haven't turned in the data, or you'll see the city police out in the county in a uniform, in a police cruiser, be knocking on doors to try to get this information so we can get it complete for the EPA. Just wanted to give everybody the heads up on what's going on. It's not a scam. All of our guys and girls will be in full uniform in a marked unit that they can tell exactly who they work for. If you want to come in and fill out the information, as I've read to you, there's several ways to get that done. If you need help filling it out, don't care a bit to help you here at City Hall. You can call us here as well, and we can fill it out for you. But it is very, very important that the City of Livingston gets this information and gets it turned in, so we will not be found in violations. If you read surrounding counties, you will see they're going through the same situation as the EPA has put on them as well. So I hope you will show our firemen and all of our officers the respect, and they just want to be there less than 30 seconds and come out and go to the next home. So just wanted to give you, we have rented in the paper for several months. We've been on the radio with it. We've had it on our website, but we're coming up short. And so we'll be going door to door to get the information. Does the council have any other business? Hearing no other business, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Bill Linder. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Rex Dale. All for the motion, let it know by saying aye. All opposed, like sign, we're adjourned.